Hello everybody, welcome back to
Master Chef Michael.
Today we're going to be making something very special. Two ways too. It's going to be steak. We're going to be starting off with a simple pan fry followed by a nice side of mashed potatoes. With the meat sitting out to come to room temperature, we're going to start with the potatoes. Get yourself a medium-sized pot and fill that up with some nice cold water. Fill the pot a little bit more than halfway and then put it on the stove. Use the power of combustion to turn your heat on to medium-high, and use the power of the sea to flavor your water. I don't really have an exact measurement for how much salt you should put in the water, so take this opportunity to put in as much as your heart desires. Just make sure you give it a good stir at the end. After stirring, you want to go back to your potatoes and make sure they're all nice and washed. You don't want any farmer's dirt on these bad boys. After wiping them clean, you're going to huck them into the pot. Try to be careful, don't burn yourself. The water isn't totally boiling yet, so I advise you not to splash boiling hot water all over you. Yeah, like I almost did there. Once they're all in, you're just going to want to let them sit and boil there for a bit, and you're going to go back to now your room temperature meat and give it a nice pat down. This is a crucial step to making it in a pan. If you don't dry your meat, it's going to be sad, soggy, not crispy at all. No one likes a soggy piece of meat. Once you got there your nice dry piece of meat, you're going to salt that thing. Okay, so take your salt and just apply it as liberal as you want. You can't really go wrong. I mean, nothing worse than a soggy piece of meat is an unsalty piece of meat. So yeah, go to town on that thing. Now you don't want your salt to get lonely, so a good partner for salt is some freshly ground pepper. And make sure you apply the pepper as generously as you did with the salt. You don't want any imbalances. It could lead to a flavor divorce. And you can't forget about getting the other side engaged. Okay, I'm done now. Yeah, just make sure you season the other side. While you're finishing up the steak, you're going to want to check on your potatoes. And to do this, you take a fork and stick it into the potato. If the potato falls easily off, you know they're done, and you can go ahead and turn off the heat. Drain your potatoes over the sink and set them aside, because now it's time to start the main course. Again, combust your big metal box up to medium-high. Coat your hot pan in a nice decent amount of oil. Trust me, you're going to want a decent amount. Yeah, stuff happens later.
Shut up.
Once your pan is scorching hot, you're going to want to lay your steak down in the pan. It should sound something like this. If not, you should probably look up a tutorial on how to heat a pan. If your meat has the same thickness as mine, you're going to want to cook it for 4 minutes on each side. Then you're going to want to flip it over, and don't worry, your fire alarms might start screaming at you again.
I hear you.
Once your smoke detector stops having a panic attack, you're going to want to cook that side for another 4 minutes. Then, after that 4 minutes is up, we're going to do a very important part, searing the sides. Using the tongs, prop your steak up onto the pan and sear each side for about 20 to 30 seconds. You're going to want to make sure that every square inch of the steak has a nice developed crust. Once your steak is looking beautifully golden brown, you're going to want to do this next crucial step. Lower the pan's heat down to low and add in about 2 tablespoons of butter. Once the butter begins to melt, add in a fresh stick of rosemary. I did not have a fresh stick of rosemary, so I had to use the dried stuff. Fresh is better, but if you have dried, just use it. And lastly, with great care, toss in 2 to 3 cloves of freshly crushed garlic. And you don't want your beautiful butter to be sitting so sad and lonely at the bottom of the pan. You're going to want to baste your steak. Basting is so easy too, and it will add so much flavor to your steak. To do it, basically, tilt your pan to the side, use a spoon, and scoop the butter onto the steak. Do this for about 30 seconds, and you will be left with a beautifully beautiful basted steak. Once finished, remove your steak on a plate, and make sure to rest for about 10 minutes. Like humans, steak need their rest too. If you cut into steak too quickly, you're going to lose all of its tender juicinesses that are in the middle. While your steak takes a quick power nap, you're going to want to mash your potatoes. Then add about a half a cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, and a heaping load of salt and freshly cracked ground pepper. Mix to combine, and you're all done. That's your mashed potatoes. And try your best to try to get that heaping ball of potato goodness off of your masher. Yep, it's really, really hard to do. And there you have it. Your beautiful pan-seared steak is ready to be cut into. The taste of steak is something that's really hard to describe, but it's just a perfect balance. It was incredibly good, and I can't wait to make this again. The only thing is that this steak was slightly overcooked. After I was done basting the steak, I kind of left it in the pan for a little too long, and I should have pulled it out right away. But the center doesn't look bad. Here's the steak in better lighting. Oh, and I almost forgot about the potatoes too. These were rich, creamy, and absolutely delightful. Even though that pan-seared steak was absolutely delicious, I felt incomplete without trying a grilled version of this steak. So let's get started on grilled. For me, I have a half gas, half coal grill, so I have to turn on the propane for about 15 to 20 minutes and let those coals light. If you just have a normal grill, light up those coals and get them smoking hot. Once your grill hits its max temperature, mine is about 500 degrees, you're ready to cook. Make sure your coals are evenly distributed so that the steaks can cook evenly. Then, without any further hesitation, lay those bad boys on the grill and hear that sweet sizzling sound. Then, close the lid and we're going to check on them in about 2 minutes. Oh, also, the steaks are seasoned the exact same way as the pan-seared one. Look at them juicy fellas. After your 2 minutes are up, you're going to want to take your steak and turn it about 45 degrees. This, in theory, will give it those nice crisscross grill marks. It didn't really work out for me, but I hope it works out for you. Close the lid once more and wait another 2 minutes. After those 2 minutes are up, you're going to want to flip your steak and basically repeat the same process as last time. Flip it, wait 2 minutes, turn it, wait 2 minutes, and then take it off. I mean, you can practically smell these things through the screen. Either use a meat thermometer or just poke at the steaks to make sure they are 100% fully cooked. Once they're done, take them off the grill and let it rest for 10 minutes. Hey, what is this guy doing? Come here you. Got him. I'm being 100% serious right now. That shine that's coming off the steaks, that's not an effect. That's just pure flavor shining straight into the camera. Once the steak has rested, just take a look at how nice that crust is. I mean, listen to it. Cutting into this, I realized that it was still a little bit overcooked, but it was still pretty good. I'll show you a picture of the doneness. And after taking a bite into the steak, I could tell right away that grilled was the way to go. Although I definitely think pan-seared is a close second. But other than that, I had a really great time doing this. I hope you all enjoyed this steak making adventure. I hope you make lots of beautiful steak, and I'll see you on the next MasterChef. Goodbye.